woods and try other rides and attractions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. For technical reasons, our adventure has been temporarily interrupted. We hope to be back in operation very soon. Please remain seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. We regret that our adventure cannot continue at this time. Please follow instructions from our cast members to leave the attraction. Thank you.
May I have your attention? Please remain seated. This ride has stopped temporarily and will resume motion at any time. Please remain seated for your own safety. Thank you.
The Wicker Man is currently experiencing a delay and we have ceased our ritual. We apologize for any inconvenience, but we are still assessing the interruption. If you have just entered our territory or at the start of your journey along the queue line, we advise you to leave the woods and try other rides and attractions.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. For technical reasons, our adventure has been temporarily interrupted. We hope to be back in operation very soon. Please remain seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. We regret that our adventure cannot continue at this time. Please follow instructions from our cast members to leave the attraction. Thank you.
May I have your attention? Please remain seated. This ride has stopped temporarily and will resume motion at any time. Please remain seated for your own safety. Thank you.
The Wicker Man is currently experiencing a delay and we have ceased our ritual. We apologize for any inconvenience, but we are still assessing the interruption. If
slice of apple pie. Wanna see my mind, baby, you just join my ride. Getting ready for the weekend, popping bubbles through the ceiling. Sure, I got dough, but don't need it, 'cause all I want is your healing. Your healing. I'm the cool kid on the block, I'm the one calling all the shots, shots, shots. Whether you're ready or not, yeah, I'm about to pump this place up, up, up. I'm the cool kid from the block, I'm the one calling all the shots, shots, shots. Whether you're ready or not, hey, I'm about to plant it, drop, drop. We're spinning, spinning on a loop all night.
them. I don't care.
I'm the cool kid from the block. I'm the one calling all the shots. Whether you're ready or not, I'm but two panties. I'm the cool kid from the block. I'm the one calling all the shots. Whether you're ready or not, I'm but two panties, place up. I'm the cool kid from the block. I'm the one calling all the shots. Whether you're ready or not, I'm about to panty drop.
Boo.
Boo.
Okay, let's
Okay,
test
let's
the
test
audio.
the audio.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, spawn.
Oh,
Oh,
I gotta fix something quickly,
guys.
How we doing?
Is it
echoing for the viewers?
Can we get
a check?
Testing?
It's echoing.
It's echoing. No.
How do I fix that?
that?
God.
Is it
echoing on someone else's end, maybe?
Because my
application doesn't say it's echoing.
If I mute YouTube, then I don't hear the echo.
I think I do.
You
hear the echo?
Yeah.
If I mute YouTube, then I don't hear the echo.
No,
it's you.
I'm
echoing apparently.
Oh,
I wonder if it's my two mics picking it up.
Maybe.
Yeah, you are echoing.
Maybe
It's the headset mic probably picking up the headphone that you're wearing.
It
shouldn't be picking it up. Let me just check something quickly.
This is gonna be an epic fail.
I can't fix this and we're live.
Oh. Let's hope.
Let
me fix one thing first, and we'll get to the next.
How
badly is it echoing?
It just sounds like you're speaking twice.
Oh, guys, then maybe the screen capture is capturing your... Okay, let me try something. Can the Discord people talk, and can we see if the people can still hear you? Are they able to hear you? Guys, can you hear them? There you go. Oh, okay. So the screen capture is capturing your guys' audio. So, oh my god, the amount of effort we went into that. We can't hear them. Oh. Okay, let's try this.
No, people are saying they can. Oh, wait, never mind.
Oh, they're saying we can. Key switches are saying can't hear them.
Okay, well, they can hear you now. Now it echoes. Interesting.
Someone said mute your main screen overlay, then keep the Discord one unmuted.
It is that way. My desktop audio is set to 0. I'm just checking something on Discord quickly. Does that fix anything? Nope. Can you guys talk? Now they can't hear you again. Just leave it. It's all good. No, we can fix this. Zach, come on. Help me here. Okay, now they can hear again, right? Now they can.
Can you hear my beautiful voice chat?
They can hear you again. I can tell. My application's telling me. But now I just need to figure out how to ensure they don't hear you twice. Now I'm just on my main computer. Give me a sec. This is so frustrating.
We all mute when we're not talking in Discord. We may not have that problem.
Oh.
It might be us hearing through each other's speakers. That's what's going on.
You want to?
I have headphones on.
I don't use headphones, but I don't need to because I have a noise gate. So.
Wait, Ryan, maybe you're the problem?
Oh, let me see.
I think it is. I went really quiet in my headset. All right, you guys talk. See if it echoes.
Hello.
Ryan is the problem.
No, I can't hear us.
I can't hear us though.
Wait, keep talking.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
1, 2, 3. Audio.
It's coming up on my end.
Interesting.
Okay, keep going.
I have the podcast up on YouTube and I can't hear myself.
All right.
Yeah.
I hear an echo. That's crazy. Oh my god. Do we end the podcast and try and fix this or?
Is the Discord still public or is it? Anyone could join the Discord. I can post the Discord link. Let me get it.
How about now? Keep talking. I set the application audio capture to mute. I am muted in the call, which is funny. Can't hear. They're saying they can't hear you, but my streaming software says they can. It's in the green. There we go. That's probably better, right? Oh, I know what to do. But you guys won't be able to do. Let me see if this fixes it. Does this fix this? Is there an echo now? But not in Discord. The rest of the stream. I can hear you guys in Discord. It fixes it. But you can't hear them. Can't hear VC. Wait, can they hear you now? That's so weird. Because it shows that they can hear you. It is capturing you. Like, try now. Hello?
Testing.
Can they hear you now?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Oh, I'm hearing it now.
Yeah.
I think we're working.
Yeah, you can hear it. Yeah, you can hear it.
Is there an echo?
No. I don't think so.
I'm not hearing an echo.
No echo anymore.
Oh! Okay, I don't know what I did. But you know the funny thing is, if I switch screens, I think it's going to go back. So let me figure out what setting I just put on the application audio capture. Okay.
So monitor and output.
Yeah, because when you did that, the echo came back just now.
Oh, people are saying echo.
Yeah.
Wait.
So now there's an echo.
Really?
That's what they're saying in chat.
That's what people are saying in the chat. There's an echo.
Let me try this. Does this fix everything? I just muted my main mic.
Hello.
I think this is going to fix it. I think I mute my podcast mic. Yeah. Okay, so
I think we're good. Yep, there we go. Yeah! Woo!
This is gone. Oh my god! Because when I
Everybody jump for joy. We did it.
how long was that? Was that like 20 minutes of editing?
At least.
Oh my goodness. Okay, the funny.
That's crazy.
Oh wow. Okay, well, news dropped. Jazz, are you all caught up? By the way,
Somewhat.
is Jasmine all caught up? Because she's in Florida, so
Okay, so I am somewhat caught up. I was in the middle of watching the video that you posted, I don't know, probably a few hours ago now. So I'm getting caught up.
So we saw this happen with Carowinds. Just to give everyone a rundown, we saw Carowinds about what 2019, 2020. Post
It was early. I think it was like January or February 2020.
Okay. So really early 2020, they posted a survey and it was like, would you like Aeronautica or would you like this arts themed area? And I guess people voted Aeronautica and Aeronautica came to life. So Wonderland just dropped some major tea. They did it with their water slide edition as well. But they are asking guests to vote on which editions they would like to see. We're going to talk in detail about that because I have some opinions, especially on the new Frontier Canada one. But they basically asked, out of the 3 coasters, which would you prefer? And it's funny, they gave one of the coasters a whole area and theme and everything, but I think it's pretty obvious the answer they're going to get. Like, it's going to be the wing coaster at the end of the day. Like, I can't see a guest voting for the wooden coaster, and I'll explain why. Because to be able to get access to that survey, you have to vote. You can't be in the age group of like 35, like 25 to 35. You can't visit the park more than 3 times this year. So it literally looks like they don't want any enthusiast input. And you have to rate roller coasters and thrill rides as your most important aspect as visiting the theme park, visiting Wonderland. So that's a very targeted audience they're trying to get information from. Which makes me think that the wing coaster is going to be a clear winner, but we'll see. But I have some thoughts on that as well. What do you guys think? Okay, we'll go in order. So Jasmine, what do you think about just that little bit of information about the survey?
Okay, so from what I know about marketing and business, you can do surveying for one of 2 reasons. You can do a really broad survey to genuinely find out what the general public wants, or you can do a really targeted survey because you know what you want and you know what kind of answer you want to get. And I feel like that's what they're doing here. So I feel like they kind of know what they want and they basically are looking for confirmation bias. That's what that sounds like to me. I'll pass the mic.
Am, you're next. Sorry, I'm editing the so I can see you better.
I mean, as I don't consider myself a coaster enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination. I'm more in line of as a GP. So I would say wing coaster probably sounds like a good idea. And that's really my take, to be honest. In either case, I'm not really, like, I don't really care either way. But obviously the enthusiasts will say, well, wing coaster is a bad idea. Some enthusiasts will say, at least. I would say, but for me personally, it doesn't really matter. I'm okay with wing. It's just another version of Yukon in a way.
Yes and no. Like, oh, sorry, I'll let everyone go before I tear into everyone. No, I'm kidding. Zach, your opinions on the survey?
I feel like with the group of people that they are surveying, I feel like it's clear that a wing coaster would be chosen. I feel like people seeing this image of a coaster coming out of a mountain is something that would appeal to a lot of people. It is very clickbaity, in my opinion. So I feel like that's what would be chosen. Obviously, that's just what I feel.
Yeah, they also led with it, which I found interesting. Next. Jacob, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I believe that wing coaster does make sense, first of all, because if you take it from like not an enthusiast standpoint, a wing coaster is something you've never seen in Canada. Like Yukon, I guess, kind of over the edge, but nothing when the track's right here and completely on the side. That's nothing you see in Canada. Yes, there's a couple in the US parks and all over the world, but in Canada, it's super easy to market to honestly everybody because you're not going to go to La Ronde, you're going to see it. You're not going to see Marineland have it. You're not going to see in BC you're not gonna see it. So this is gonna be like the only place you see a wing coaster, which is pretty cool for the average person to see a coaster that's on the side of the track.
Guys, I'm posting the link just because everyone's asking. It will work. Just again, I'm not going to repeat myself. Just answer the specific questions. You will get kicked out of the survey if you answer the wrong question, and then you will not be able to retake it unless you switch to your desktop. All right, Ryan.
All right. Saving the best for last, I see. So, where Am said he's not a coaster enthusiast, I am sort of the complete opposite. And I can understand why they wouldn't want our input. We are kind of stupid sometimes. But to be completely honest, I'm so down for a wing coaster. I would love it. Out of the ones I've been on, I've thoroughly enjoyed them all. I think Gatekeeper is a great ride and a standout ride in Cedar Point's lineup. I know that is a huge hot take there. I have not tried Thunderbird. I would love to. I can imagine the launch would be great on a wing coaster. So the fact that both of the concepts shown for our park have been launched is really good. And as Jacob was touching on the whole sort of clickbait aspect of it, if you watch any of those like top 5 scariest roller coaster videos, Gatekeeper is always in them. And you can bet, like, the same thing happens with Yukon Striker now. I think that's a very popular choice for them. And you can bet that this wing coaster would have that same appeal. I do have some concerns specifically with the Blast Coaster, and I love Canada's Wonderland. It's my favorite place on earth, so ruining Wonder Mountain, not ruining Wonder Mountain, but the sort of, that's such a large change in that sightline is very, very jarring. So I do have my concerns about that, but I am all for it.
Okay, I just need to counter something because I hate wing coasters and I can't let your comments slide. I would just like to state that the lineup for Gatekeeper at Cedar Point is non-existent now. So I consider it a failed attraction.
Sucks to suck, I guess. But...
Yeah.
Guys, the survey link works. If you answer the wrong question, they don't want your feedback. So it's a very targeted survey, really targeted. My friend group, we were all like answering questions to try and figure out the right ones to get through. So the right answer for age seems to be like 17 to 24. And so again, that tells you everything too, because to me that tells you they're going after thrill seekers. And then you have to answer that thrill rides and roller coasters are the most important reason you're visiting Wonderland. And then once you get past those 2 questions, it'll then be like, welcome to a survey. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions about future attractions that we think would be good at Canada's Wonderland. And then it shows you the wing coaster coming out of the mountain, and then the concert coaster, and then finally the Zambezi Zinger?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he said it right this time.
I mean, the ride is bought, so they're just asking for fun. So Ryan, that is a really important statement right there. So, okay, guys, this is where things might go south. I'm gonna go to the next stream deck, and when I go to the next stream deck, it might be back to basics, but I know how to fix it. So just give me like 30 seconds max, and we'll figure out what's going on. Okay, here we go. Is it working?
Let's see. Is it working, chat?
I think it's working.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Chat, is our audio echoey? I just see that like our Discord thing is
I think
not cropped properly again.
Yeah, there we go.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. Okay, so easy fixes. You are good. So this is the option number 1, the only option in my opinion. This was Blast Coaster. So this looks like a flying or invert coaster in the concept art. And I want to stress that these are just concept arts that were thrown together, except for one of them. One of them is like a really serious, like very well planned out, serious effort went into it vision for Canada's Wonderland. And this is like, hey, this is what's coming, in my opinion. And I'm going to explain why, and then we'll get through you guys again. So I think this is how we'll do it. I'll give my opinion, and then you guys can say your opinions, and then we'll discuss. So if you guys watched my video today, I strongly suggest you do. watch my video, because we were at Wonderland. We were told yesterday that there were some new construction markings on Lazy Bear Lodge. And you know me, when there's a new construction marking, survey marking, I have to go film it. I need to know its location, where it's facing, and everything. And I went to go film this because I was like, if it's on the top of Lazy Bear, they're looking for an overall view over the forest of Whitewater Canyon, and they needed a survey point from way back there. Well, we got there and we noticed that all the survey markings were pointing towards that back corner of the mountain. The very back corner where you see the B&M coming out of and then heading into International Showplace. And then we saw the really important construction markings I was telling you guys about in that video, the silver ones. The ones that are there to exactly track the distance from that point to what the swing radius is on the ride. The same ones we saw for Touch and Twister and the Splashworks building and Yukon Striker supports. It's like they need that number, and that's what that's for. Which tells you they have a ride and they have a concept already there, and they're trying to figure out the distance from in their 3D world of what exists there and the distance of it to that structure that you see the silver thing on. So when you see those silver things, something's designed or in the designing process. So they have an element that they're trying to figure out, hey, we have some sort of element in this area. How far is it from this building, this support structure, this ride, this and that? So someone up there just said, well, what does it give if they've already designed the ride? So when I tell you that the 2025 coaster, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, is this wing coaster, and it's already designed and ready to go. And I don't think that what we choose for a theme really matters, and it's going to be the same layout. I don't think the concert coaster actually is different from the blast coaster in terms of layout. I think it'll just be theme. And that's more so the information they're trying to gather. The second thing I want to say is the concert coaster, which we'll get into later, is not in Kingswood. A lot of people assume that was it launching out of Kingswood with the tents there. If you actually look at the tent design, it's International Showplace's tents, not Kingswood's tents. So same location. So to me, that says this is 100% the location of the ride, and they're about to start construction on it in 2025, or sorry, this December, like I had heard. Now, if this is the coaster that I was hearing about, and if you remember the podcast, I said I didn't know the location of the coaster, but I knew it had a $35 million price tag, which makes sense, especially if they're going to be building under the mountain. That's going to be super expensive. Yeah, I don't know. I'm shocked because I thought Frontier Canada was the coaster we were getting, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Jasmine, what are your thoughts on the Blast coaster, this first one?
I'm with you. I like that option. I mean, everybody already knows how I feel about what we should really get, but I think that our wooden coasters need TLC and that we should keep attention towards keeping the historic rides alive. But that's just me, and I'm very biased on that front. But of what it seems to be, what it looks like, what they're doing, to me, they're on like the same level of like how interested I am to ride them, but the survey tells me that it's not for me. You know what I mean? Like if it was for me, they'd be doing what I'm talking about. So I am on board with either one. I think either one would be a really good fit for Wonderland, but I like this concept that you've shown. I really like. Who was it earlier that was saying, was it Ryan? Were you the one saying, "Oh, I'm worried about the changing the way things look with the mountain"? Okay, my only comment to that is, to me, I had that moment and that heartbreak when they did Wonder Mountain Guardian. So I'm like over that. I'm like, cool, this looks cool. This is way better than what we got right now interacting with the mountain. Let's go. So that's how I feel. I think I have trust, especially since they're more recent projects with Frontier Canada, in whatever it is that's kind of the core of this plan. And like I said with my little comment about the marketing, I think most of what's going to happen they've already decided, they've already designed it, they've already paid for it. I think they're looking for a little bit of input on exactly sort of what we're talking about now with like what's the better theming, what is it people want to see in regards to this ride, around this ride, just making sure that the audience is aligned with what they're doing so that they can make those small tweaks if needed to make it sort of seem like, hey, this is what you guys wanted, even though we as enthusiasts know they would have started planning this years ago. I think that's all I have to say. I don't know.
Oh, non-coaster enthusiast, what's your opinion?
I would say this would be a great addition. Simply because, and just a second, what Jasmine was also saying, this would be a great addition. Although it would be nice to keep the relics alive, which I would be totally okay with. But this would be an amazing addition to the park itself, and the way it's being portrayed. If this, as accurate as this image may be, even though it is still a concept image, the way it's coming in and the way you see it, the minute you enter front gate, it's the first thing you see. You don't right now you're seeing Leviathan, but this may be the first thing you see as soon as you enter front gate. And I think this will add some sort of an appeal to a different type of an appeal to Wonderland, because I think what I've noticed over the years that I've been going to the park is they're catering more as a family park, and which is absolutely fair. It's more of a family park, more of a, not so much a GP park, but more of a park for everyone. So I think this is one of those options where you can say, yes, this will be a good addition because we have more families coming in, because we have more young people coming in. So it's going to be appealing to a sort of a different clientele. And I think I would basically agree with everything Jasmine has also said.
Awesome. Zachariah. No, Zachary. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I completely agree. I think this would be a great addition to the park. Again, I feel like it has that clickbait factor, which is massive for any amusement park out there. I believe that clickbait in general is one of the biggest things a park needs for attracting a new audience. And something like this coming out of the mountain, it will look gorgeous. New thing you see as soon as you enter the park. I'm just gonna keep it short. I honestly think that's all it is. It's amazing. It would be a great addition.
Jacob?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with everyone that they all like the addition, but I feel like it's also a good middle coaster because if you look at our lineup, we have.
I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him?
Hello?
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Oh.
You have these 90-foot, maybe 80-foot coasters like Wild Beast, Vortex, and Dragonfire, which are tall, but they're not. And then you go after that, I'm gonna take out Flight Deck because no one really likes Flight Deck. So you have these super tall coasters after like Yukon, Behemoth, Leviathan. So there's not really a large middle ground. Like I noticed in other parks, like in King's Dominion, you have short coasters like Grizzly, Twisted Timbers. You have medium coasters like Dominator, and you have big coasters like I-305. So I feel like this is a good middle coaster for us because it's gonna be. I personally don't believe it's gonna be over 200 feet because I don't know. That's just what I feel like with the space that they have. But I do feel like it's going to be maybe in possibly the 160 to 180 range, which is a good middle ground for the park for us because we don't really have a good coaster that's in that range. So yeah, I do believe it's a good addition.
Ryan?
One thing I'd like to add on to what I said before about my dislike of the Wonder Mountain thing. Get the fire away. It worked with Volcano the Blast Coaster. Wonder Mountain is not a volcano, it is a mountain. Take the fire somewhere else. It's cool that you want to invest in special effects. Get the fire away now.
But there's a dragon,
Wait. Okay, I think Jasmine, me, and Am can attest to this. Wonderland has had fire on the mountain during the eruption years.
That is true.
That was an epic time.
I did forget.
I love that. Remember the lights would start flickering in the park, and then the music of rumbling would start playing, and then the mountain would start erupting with fireworks and flames, and...
Yep.
You know what
I
also
comments
means?
all over the internet saying that they need to bring the eruption back for some big anniversary or something. That show was epic. I could see why Ryan's saying on the everyday don't do the fireworks. It's not a volcano, and I agree with that. But I think it was a very cool event that they should do again.
Yeah. No, everyone picking the concert coaster, and you need to go. How? No. Okay, we'll talk about that when we get to the section. I'm gonna rant. Okay, everyone spoke on Blast Coaster.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so Same thing. Give me a second. Oh wait, no, it should be a really quick fix. Okay, we're going over.
I'm getting good at this.
Okay, delete the old people.
Whoa.
Okay, so this is my idea of where the wing coaster is going to go based off of current survey markings that we found today. And then also, I'm going to check somewhere tomorrow, but down by Backlot, there's a nice green, hardly used area that I think they could also bring this thing if they needed to, as you can see down there in the bottom right. So obviously, this topic of discussion for this section of the podcast is there isn't a lot of land for what people, when people think B&M, they think Leviathan's plot of land and Behemoth's plot of land, and even Yukon, it wouldn't fit in this plot of land either. But we are thinking a launched wing coaster. This thing is not going to be the longest thing you guys can imagine. It is going to end up being a pretty short coaster, in my opinion. We don't know, but the $35 million price tag does have me a little confused. I'll know more in December, but I don't see much of what's going to go on here unless this is a pretty compact design and they really do go over each other a lot. Yeah.
I am actually, as we speak, working on a concept in Planet Coaster above like the overlay, like 1-to-1 scale.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, they can fit quite a bit in here. I may have taken a bit some creative liberties. I have it going over Chicken Shack, but I'll have to show you when I'm done. But...
I know I'm playing catch up here, but how like sure are we that this is a wing? Because I know we keep talking about that, but I'm just mentioning because when you said 30 million, that's roughly how much Velocicoaster is for just the coaster, not the theming.
Yeah. I think it's like both surveys, both concepts said wing coaster. So I think like they made up their mind they want to launch
They're
wing.
like, don't disappoint people, just stick to wing.
That was why, guys, I had the image of Velocicoaster and me looking all sad at the beginning of the podcast. Everyone was like, why do you have Velocicoaster?
I'm feeling the same way right now, hearing the more details. I'm like, but it should have been Velocicoaster.
I would like I'd like to add real quick about in terms of length. So while Gatekeeper is something like 4,100-ish feet long, you got other launched wing coasters, like you got Thunderbird, it's only 3,000 feet. So it does not need a super long, super big plot of land. It could make do with a pretty small plot of land. Something like what's on the screen right now.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they could also remove Extreme Skyflyer. It doesn't do well anymore and extend it all the way out that way. But I don't think you need to with a launch wing coaster. I think you can keep it pretty compact. But if you look at my red area, it does kind of head out towards Extreme Skyflyer. But you know what's interesting? I will tell you, and I was scared. If you remember at the beginning, about like 3 podcasts ago, I was starting to panic that we were going to get an intimate little childish launch coaster in the basement of the mountain because this giant generator showed up outside the mountain, which is a sign that they're about to essentially cut the power to the mountain so that they can work on power and run essentially that section of the park off this giant diesel generator. So that was sign number 1 that something was about to happen that I should have committed to, being like, okay, construction is about to start on the mountain. Sign number 2 is every time Wonderland builds things on the outer edges of the park or in little tiny subsections of the park, they don't do well. Tundra Twister is falling victim to that. What do you call it? That axe ride.
Lumberjack.
Lumberjack is victim to that. The other side of the park is victim to that in the morning until later on. So Wonderland could be looking to, maybe building something on the very outer edge of the park where Action Theater is could be scary to them. Maybe they want to keep something cool like this closer to home. We'll touch a little bit on the... Yeah.
On that point, that's very true because theme park design is a lot like designing a mall. With a mall, you need to have, they call them anchor stores, which are like big box stores on any like end of a major pathway or artery in the mall. So with smaller malls, you usually see like 1 on either side. If it's a big mall, you might see like 3 or 4. And theme parks are like that. You need something to lead people all the way to the end of the path, but that something also can't just be like a dead end or something small because they either won't go there or they'll go there and people will feel like lost, like this pathway leads to nowhere type of thing. So you're totally right. And I think that particular pathway, it's kind of a twofer because it does come around and connect to Splash. So I think it was a way to alleviate traffic with that. But it also led to white water. And so there's well, this area, Kingswood, that we're looking at on the screen right now. But there's also that same, so there's those two dead end feeling areas in the park right now, because they used to have a thing that was like an anchor that's no longer an anchor. So I agree that we need that. Yeah.
Yeah. What's also interesting though is they're going to be removing International Showplace, one of like 3 theaters left at the park. So now we only have the Castle Theater and Playhouse. And that's really interesting to me because entertainment is so important at Canada's Wonderland. But the subcategory to this is I haven't seen this theater fill up this year. Have they noticed that people aren't going to this one anymore? But yeah, Canterbury is like the last like adult theater. And then they obviously have the pirate ship and Medfair. So if they do this, I think there's going to have to be a replacement somewhere. And is that what's going on in World Expo in the Kingswood area?
Can I just ask, because I haven't been to the park this year, obviously, what do they do to draw people to the theater? Because they used to, back in like the Paramount days, and I noticed this phased out, and then I moved and, so I don't have up-to-date information, but they used to do like announcements around the park of like when the next showtimes are, like what's going on, and I feel like I don't recall them doing that in more recent years, and it just feels like they're not really pushing people and giving people a reason to go see the entertainment stuff, except for putting it in the park map, and who even looks at those these days?
Yeah, they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't.
There's no announcements anymore. I haven't heard an announcement in years.
I think the only
Let
time.
alone announcements. There are no park maps anymore, so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the
Oh, so
only.
literally nothing. Okay, got it.
They rely on
explains why
signs.
it's empty.
Yeah.
There's just signages in the pathways, but that's really it.
Okay, it's working now.
Oh.
Is it back, guys?
Yeah.
Testing.
Fixed. Good. Brack. Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened. It just dropped I saw the application audio capture device was like not recognizing us either. All right, who was
I didn't
last?
hear this the whole time.
No, because I've been watching chat.
No.
It essentially cut out when we were just talking about no signage and how they need to. Yeah, so I guess someone brought it up. Guardian. What does this mean for Wonder Mountain's Guardian? I think Wonder Mountain's Guardian is so trash that the park literally doesn't care, and it obviously has to go. Now, the only reason I think that it might not be going is some of those silver distance markings are on the support structure for Guardian. So I don't know why you would need to track the distance from a Guardian support if you're going to get rid of it. You know what I mean? So yeah. But that raises the question, how is this going to work? Like,
Honestly,
so my only option.
Take it out.
Do you guys, so I wanted to introduce some people to this. So do you guys see this roadway beside International Showplace going in and under the mountain?
Mm-hmm.
That to me is the only option. If they were to expand that and launch you in there, and you'd come out on the farthest north point of the mountain, just past Vortex's turn, like lift hill and turn, and then work your way back over. That is the only thing, but that is a major construction project. That means support columns going down through the mountain structure, and I don't know, like,
Where would they place the station there?
there is also the option. So Vortex is about to be all of Vortex's little turns are about to be invaded by B&Ms. There's the option of it coming out of the turn on the top of the mountain of Vortex.
I think it's possible.
Do you mean going over Vortex's as it reaches the top of the lift hill?
Yeah, like it would come up in between where the lift hill and then the drop is. There's that little curve. It would come up in between.
Mm.
But I have no idea where they're going to fit this thing. But what's interesting is the concert coaster, a part of this. Does anyone else have anything to talk about or input on the location of the wing coaster?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was wondering, where is the station gonna go if they don't, like, let's say for the concert coaster, if they wanted to go through international showplaces, as what you can kind of see in the rendering, where would they put the station? Would it be underground, or would it be like?
No. So I think that the building, you see the white tent, and then behind the white tent, there's like a building structure there. What's funny is, do you guys remember my construction updates right as the park was opening this year? You might not. Don't be embarrassed to say no. Don't worry. Do you remember that they were working on electrical behind International Showplace and Chicken Shack? Remember them digging the ground? They were working on upgrading the electrical. So to me, that says the station and the brake run and that are going to be somewhere around that building behind International Showplace. So they would probably remove that. And then build a station there, and then it would kind of like turn and launch out of International Showplace. But again, that is just art renderings, and everything can change. You know what I mean? Like that could just be a cool animation for the theme of the ride, and they're going to make the station look like International Showplace. They're not going to actually use International Showplace because the way it works right now, you see all those little cords coming down from International Showplace. How do you launch a wing coaster through all those strings and wires and all that, right? That seems like a safety hazard to me. They would build something more permanent. But again, it is just a rendering. We can't take what you see in the rendering with seriousness. But we'll talk about the concert coaster in a second. Any like questions or comments on the location?
Yes, so I would like to add, Ryan, you've been doing that build of this concept, right? And on the topic of where it could come out of from the mountain, would you like to describe what you've been doing for that?
There is an eensy little point in between the very end of Vortex's turn and one of like the spikes coming up that could sort of fit it where I snuck it through. But
would that require? Oh, sorry. Well, would that require modification of the mountain, or?
It would require the entire removal of Wonder Mountain's Guardian, absolutely. But
yes,
no matter what they do,
take it out.
No matter what they do, though, this mountain is about to be like invaded. Like B&M supports and track going through this thing. Like they're about to make some serious modifications, and maybe that's the price tag. Maybe $35 million isn't for just the coaster. You know, like what was the price tag of Thunderbird and all that you guys looked up again? Just
for inflation,
Thunderbird
28 million.
Was 22 million USD.
Okay.
And for now inflation, it's 28 million.
Okay, so that adds up. And then, you have millions in there for the refurbishment of the mountain, right? It needs it. Like, and you don't want to put a showcase attraction in a mountain and not have the waterfalls working. And, so I think that this is a whole project, and Cedar Fair was like, okay, how can we add something in to also what's the word I'm looking for? Rejuvenate.
Yeah.
So this is a good 35 million Canadian.
I want to say too that I'm somewhat aware that they've been working on the structural parts of the mountain since roughly just before Cedar Fair bought the park. And y'all can choose whether or not you want to believe me on that information. But I think even Grace has probably mentioned it, if I recall correctly, in an interview that they, have done some work inside the mountain. It was known back when I worked at the park and had family that worked at the park that the mountain on the inside was not in good shape back then. And I'm talking like 2005, 2006. It was not in good shape. It was like you want to put a hard hat on if you're walking in there. And that was a big part of what some of the behind the scenes, like regular maintenance money was going towards, from my understanding. And of course, I wasn't as interested in the business side of things back then, but putting it together now, there was talk about it in the offices, and I know for a fact that it had to happen. And so it's very possible that if Cedar Fair took over and in more recent years, if they've still been doing some of that work, because it was not a like everything needs to be done overnight type of thing, but it was things need to slowly, be brought up to snuff type of thing. And so it's very possible that they could still do regular work on the interior of the mountain, maintenance-wise, just to make sure it's ready for these types of additions. And they could have been planning for something like this for a while. So yes, part of that 30 million whatever budget could be going towards mountain work, but also it's possible that they've already done that and like kind of snuck it into other budgets for years leading up to this. Just a little thought.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of us who attended Roller Coasters A last year, which in here, I think it was just you and I, Brendan, but we saw the condition of, like, at least just one of the staircases in Wonder Mountain, and it was something.
So it's still sketchy in parts.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys are only seeing like a small percentage of the mountain, so who knows what they're doing in other parts. But I know for sure back then, like, structural work had to be done. So I'm sure there was some like repairs happen between then and now.
Just to give you guys some context that may not know. So you see the mountain, right? And you think the basement of the mountain is either smaller than the mountain or the same size as the mountain. But what a lot of you viewers may not know is when you approach the mountain on either end, do you guys notice that the pathways create like a bubble, like they go up? Mm-hmm. And that's because the basement of the mountain is actually so much larger than the mountain itself. There is so much room down there that they could build, and it was always said like 2 to 3 coasters technically in the basement of the mountain, not like full-scale B&M coasters, but you could fit like 3 attractions down there. It's so big. They use it right now for Paramount storage, all the old stuff storage. There's haunted houses down there, 2 of them, and some of the longest haunted houses, may I add. So it's very big. Lost
like
sound
when you
again.
see those videos of people talking about the utilidors at Disney World, like it's some kind of legend and like it's so creepy down there, like that's what Wonder Mountain's basement is like. It's like what those videos think the utilidors are like. That's actually Wonder Mountain's basement.
Are we talking like Amazon warehouse type stuff?
Yeah, it's big. Like from what picture the arches on either end. That's the basement you're walking over.
Have you ever been down there, Benjamin? Like personally down there?
No. I feel like that's a story I don't want to be a part of. Like Wonderland would lure me down there and then trap me, and then I'd be known as like the troll in the dungeon.
Surviving 24 hours in Wonderland basement challenge.
But let's talk. So people are worried about Vortex, Wonder Mountain's Guardian, and Thunder Run. I can tell you that Thunder Run is going nowhere because they spent a lot of money on a brand new maintenance shed for Thunder Run, so they didn't have to get a crane and remove the trains every season. So now it has its own maintenance shed. So that's not going anywhere. They wouldn't do that if it was. 2, Vortex, it's not going anywhere. Like, it ain't going anywhere. That ride is, from what I know from people in the industry, is that ride's a tank. It's one of their favorite rides. It and Dragonfire, actually, as sad as that is. Apparently, those 2 require next to no maintenance. They just work. They're great and they're reliable. But yeah, Wonder Mountain's Guardian, I can see going. The only reason I don't think it is those silver little surveying points. There'd be no point in tracking the distance. For something if it was going to go, you know what I mean? Like, why? You're like, oh, this column's going anyways.
Okay, but what if they try to track the distance and it's like, oh, it's gonna hit it. We gotta take it out.
I can
what a
picture
shame.
I can picture Jasmine getting a job on the construction team and just accidentally backing her dump truck into the Wonderland.
You just see me after I was
Oopsie.
taking an axe to it. Just nothing to see here.
What a shame, guys. I accidentally destroyed part of Guardian. Guess we gotta get rid of it now. What a shame.
All right. This beautiful thing.
Can they hear us?
Yes, they can.
The
The concert coaster.
Woo!
There's 2 of us in the bottom left. Oh, nope, it's fixed.
I know I'm a little behind still. My brain is not understanding this concept.
Yeah,
So
I
this is
don't-
going potentially interacting with the mountain and or where Kingswood is. Is that what they're saying?
So
this is just concept art, but I think that
so
my assumption, and again, take this with a grain of salt, both coaster designs, the themes, Blast Coaster and Thing, would have the same coaster design. I can't see how they wouldn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where would you put it? Like, did you really have one? Like, did B&M really come up with one concept that's underground and then one concept that's above ground? And then how does the above ground one fit?
But this
Right,
is
apparently
where
the
my
echo is
confusion
back.
comes in, because how are all of these concepts that they're throwing out and things that they're having people vote on, like they're so all far from each other? You know what I mean? It's not even like they're all along the same theme type of thing. Like they're so different. How is this going to fit into that area of the park in the theming? Because they're trying to redo Expo and stuff, and like I'm assuming they're trying to get the theming amped up and get it together on all different areas of the park, not just Frontier Canada. That's what
Apparently, I'm echoing.
Yeah. That's what I was
Oh,
saying.
it could be me.
Oh,
It could be me. I don't have a noise gate. So
let me
it's
try this. Is this working? Did this fix the problem, guys?
Testing.
I think so. It was, for some reason, my computer was picking up a mic somewhere else, even though, yes.
Oh, okay.
That is so, every time I switch streams, it's like picking something up. My mic right now, I just want to prove, is muted. See it flashing? That means it's muted. I don't know what I don't.
Probably picking up your webcam microphone.
That's true. So this is going to be my 2 cents. Hear me out, guys, because I think I have it on the dot. This concept art you see here, I actually, just as of right now, pieced it together. I don't think this means the launch is coming out of Kingswood. Or, International. I think this is literally just concept art to show it that it's a concert theme. And they used the International Show Building to show that it was like a concert theme. I think the emphasis is on onboard audio themed to Canadian artists, and it would do the same thing. Like it would launch out of Wonder Mountain, blah, blah, blah. I think this is literally just concept art to get the idea in your head that it's a concert. And it's a Wonderland concert.
And
Yeah, with Canadian artists.
I think it'd be good to notice, worth to say, it is Canadian artists. So if there was onboard audio, it'd be stuff like Rush playing, for example.
Yeah.
Kind of like Rip Ride Rocket with like maybe you get to choose. Who knows what? Maybe that'll be a cool feature. You get to choose the song you play, or maybe each ride is a different light show, or each ride is maybe different effects that you get. Maybe there would be, let's say, 3 bands or 4 bands: Rush, Nickelback, maybe I don't know, Bryan Adams. They're all Canadian.
Tragically hip, man.
Okay, no, I
Tragically
need
hip.
to slow you guys down for a second. I need to slow your roll. This is Wonderland we're talking about, guys. This isn't Universal Studios where you get to pick your Evanescence soundtrack and then different lighting effects are going to happen. Wonderland can't even get the main lighting effects to work. So
Wonderland can't even get backlot working.
Yeah, but one can dream. One can dream.
But yeah. So this is why I think this proves to me that the Wing Coaster is a for sure thing and it's 2025 because they have 2 concepts for the same thing. Almost similar to the water slide that's coming next year where they were asking people to pick the 3 different names for the water slide. To me, this is them presenting a launched Wing Coaster and they're like, hey, pick the theme. We don't know. But yeah, I love the idea of onboard audio. I love it. But what does a concert have to do with Frontier Canada?
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense with where they're putting it in the park.
Yeah.
With these theme options that they're giving us. Like some of them make sense and some of them are like, what? Like that's the part that I don't get. Is like, why are you putting options that don't make sense even on the list?
If it was
Right.
World Expo, sure, right?
Right. That's why
That
I'm trying to piece together, where's the station gonna be? Because it could make a difference. If the station, even though most of the coaster may be in one area, if the station is in another area and that's where most of the theming is, then I guess you could pull it off.
If we're
But
talking, Wonderland wants to be themed, as an example, if they were. This doesn't make sense for that area.
Not at all.
could you imagine if you get on and the concert options you have are like a bunch of twangy, like old Western tunes from Frontier Canada's like nothing modern at all, nobody you know.
It's just Brendan singing.
But also, I actually disagree. I don't even think World Expo would be a good fit for this ride because World Expo is just supposed to showcase other cultures and not like Canadian music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So when these were first sort of revealed, this one was my favorite because I had this whole sort of idea in my head that it would be for Kingswood because Kingswood was always a part of World Expo. That's why, if you remember, like the look of the Kingswood bathrooms, they fit in. I had this whole idea for Kingswood, but if that's not the case.
One person said no audio, but I think people can still hear us. That's weird. I keep seeing one person saying no audio here and there.
It's there. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
here's a crazy idea. Here's a blue sky, really crazy idea.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out again where exactly they're going to put this station because that usually is where kind of what leads the direction of the theming of the ride, right? Because some coasters, like Leviathan goes heckin' far. So I'm thinking, again, based on this, and I know this is just concept art, based on the concept art, based on what we were just talking about to do with Wonder Mountain and the basement, they could, traffic-wise, I don't know if it's smart, but they could have the station for this where International Showplace is, and that is the only thing to me that would make this theme make sense. If they keep it basically what International Showplace has always been, and you go up on stage and you load into the ride from the stage. Like, I'm literally looking at a park map right now and being like, where are they putting this thing? It makes, there's, like you were saying, there's not a lot of space to work with. But that is possible, because it's not really in use much. Like you were saying, it's not as popular as it once was. They could put shows elsewhere. They could do other types of shows, maybe more like meet and greet type character things instead of scheduled shows. But Blue Sky, this is where I'm going crazy with this. Everyone buckle up. It would make sense that from there, you actually do have, I believe, access to the basement. Like you're technically on top of the basement in that area, or at least close to it. They could go straight underground from the station and launch out of the mountain.
Like time traveler, do a 90-degree
like time traveler type.
I think that's I think that's the only option, right?
Otherwise, if it is going to interact with the mountain, nothing else seems to make sense to me. Just looking at the map,
it has to, and that is so clickbait. Like a wing coaster with a lighting package coming out of the mountain in an Immelman would be like everyone would be like, "Oh my goodness."
It'd be really good for pictures.
Where's Leviathan? I don't see it.
What's a Leviathan?
It would make the SNS 40 free spins look like child's play in the eyes of the GP, I feel.
Yeah. It's Wonderland. Nothing needs a theme to make sense. Yes, it does. They said that they want to become a theme park. So
yeah, they can't make this theme park shift and not take that into account.
Yeah. I'm fat. If this concert coaster, yes, it's gonna be cool at the end of the day. It would. I don't want it.
Yeah, it's too generic. It's giving like
I feel
what's
like
his name? Eisner's gonna just pop up out of somewhere. Hey, you guys!
Makes me feel
you made
like
a Hollywood coaster, a concert coaster.
If we get the concert coaster, do I have permission to start a mosh pit in the queue line?
No,
right?
But you know what's funny? So Cedar Fair hires the Universal design guy, right? For all their new themed areas. This has Rip Ride Rocket written all over it. Like the guy needs to
I mean, I would say more Hollywood Dream, but
yeah. But let's get to okay, so I have a lot to say on this and I'm scared. I'm quaking. Like I'm really quaking over this concept.
Is it time?
Oh. So, I don't know if you saw this, Jasmine.
It's time.
I saw the concept art. That was how far I got in the video, and then it was like stream starting, and I panicked.
Brennan, you should put the stuff in the top left. It covers the the cameras in the top left. It'll cover the least amount.
Okay. So here we have like a Knott's Berry Disneyland level themed area that Wonderland has proposed to its pass holders. It's beautiful. And honestly, if you read the ride description, it sounds epic. It's a boring family coaster, yes, but it has an epic ending according to the description, where the mine's gonna like blow up or something, and something's gonna happen.
What's in the shed?
And then,
It's very much giving Mystic Timber's shed.
It's just gonna be a block.
No, but the new Cedar Fair, I trust them. It's gonna be way better. And then you get this gorgeous, like absolutely stunning area. Like it's insane. So this is where I find it really tricky because the me who's bored of Wonderland wants the wing coaster, the launch wing coaster. But then the theme park enthusiast me is like, this is everything I've ever wanted. But the good news is, did we disconnect? Oh no, there we are.
No.
Sorry, that might have been me. My internet went out.
No worries. I think we're getting both. I think that the wing coaster being so soon and them having two concepts, that's why we saw what we saw. But Wonderland and Cedar Fair having such a drawn out concept for something like this tells me this has already been planned, it's already in the works, and this is what they want. And they're just trying to gauge how well this would do and if they need to make any modifications to this. So, for example, the coaster would be really easy to change here. I think this themed area is what Cedar Fair wants, and that's done. That's a done deal. But if you notice, they just copied and pasted Zambezi Zinger, essentially, like concept art, into that back there, and that they could change that coaster design however they wanted. And they're just gauging how people felt about it in the email. So someone asked, auto-corrected, someone asked, isn't this already surveyed? So I want to explain something. We figured this out in Discord. You guys are assuming this is Whitewater Canyon, correct?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. How many of the viewers are thinking this is Whitewater Canyon's area?
Type 1 in the chat if you think it's Whitewater Canyon.
Yep, type 1 in the chat if you think it's Whitewater. So we're seeing some ones.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
we're seeing a lot of
ones.
only ones.
Oh, yep, there you go. Well, someone wrote
see one, too.
1,000. That's very far off.
We see two people thinking that it's not Whitewater.
It's not Whitewater. It's not Whitewater, guys. Now, we don't know this for sure, but I can confirm this isn't Whitewater. I can tell you these rivers are very obvious about where it is. So this is actually down by Minebuster. This is located in Minebuster's plot of land. Yeah, I know, shocking, right? If you look really closely, this is the river that flows along Minebuster. So essentially, what I think the proposal silence. Oh, water park. If you remember, I've long been predicting that. I know.
No, you already know. You already know what I'm gonna say.
Jasmine made a video. No, okay, you guys are video. I don't even. I'll let
but
you.
My video calls this out exactly, so you guys can just wait and see because it's not. I'm not even a little bit surprised. I was like, they're gonna do a family something. What did I say?
I think that they want to expand the water park, and to remove Minebuster, you get two purposes out of removing Minebuster. You get a dry park expansion in the Helix, Lift Hill, and Station area along the river. And you get a water park expansion at the turnaround section as well. So it's very beneficial, similar to Carowinds removing theirs.
They better put another wooden coaster, and that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Which is exactly this GCI, very family.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right? You're removing essentially a family wooden coaster to replace it with a family wooden coaster. And then they get to build this whole epic entrance into Frontier Canada.
Honestly, I'm okay with it because it looks beautiful. Not the type of coaster I wanted, but from the survey we could tell I am not the demographic they're talking to right now.
So I'm going to interrupt real quick. I'm seeing people here shocked that Mindbuster has a river. If you look at Google Maps, or if you go to the park, for example, on the entrance of Frontier Canada, where Mindbuster is, you go over a bridge. That is the river that we are talking about right now.
That's a creek.
A creek.
I feel like they definitely extend, but they could also Wonderland could also
Body
do
of water.
landscaping. They could landscape it to make it wider. They could take down trees because it feels. I get it where you mean by like it feels very, I guess, small and like compact, but it's Wonderland. We know what they can do. They can make something look from really not like pretty to like look at Frontier Canada when the Skyrider there was no theme or nothing, and then now you look in 2019, 2020, it's beautiful. So we Wonderland can do so much things that we don't even know.
I don't know if I agree with this. I have a differing theory that the river you actually see is a part of Whitewater Canyon because it completely matches up in the way that the river turns, the way that the river is shaped with, you know where the waterfall is?
Yeah.
That's where that bridge is in the concept art. So they would completely like strip it down and remove everything. But the shape of the river in the concept art is the exact same shape as Whitewater Canyon is in that exact location.
Wait, but if you look at the full animation, the river doesn't go anywhere in the bottom left, bottom center.
You're right about that. Yep.
I would also like to add that another reason why this could be matched up to Mindbuster area is that you see a little village area, a little town square to the bottom left, and to me this kind of looks like it could be like that bridge to go over there is that bridge next to Mindbuster, and then the area is maybe the area around Coasters Dine-In or Drive-In. I don't know what it's called. It's Coasters though. That's what that area looks like it is.
Now, there is a possibility, okay, and so this, to me, this screams Mindbuster's area. There is the possibility this is Whitewater Canyon's area, and it's just going to completely get bulldozed, and Whitewater isn't a part of Wonderland's future. But I don't see that as a possibility. And that is a lot of tree removal. When you can just literally fit this where Coasters, Orbiter used to sit, Mindbuster, and the Coca-Cola Refresh and the bridge, essentially.
So either of those options just means that this concept art is leaving it vague enough for us not to be able to tell, because either of those options means like they either are planting a ton of trees to make it look like a forest, or they're going to have to spend a significant amount more than the regular construction budget to like work around trees, because this is showing us a full forest right here.
Yeah. This isn't... Oh, sorry, keep going.
No, I'm just saying it. So the concept art is kind of vague either one way or the other. It's going to be hard to tell.
This isn't Medfair, guys, because the description in the survey says this is like Frontier Canada, essentially, and it talks about a mining co. Basically, you're like on a mining expedition, essentially.
Another nice thing to point out is, I believe you've spoken about this, right? In something about a town, a city in lore, right? Could that potentially be this outpost, this little town we have in the bottom left of the image?
Yeah, the Dawson City rumors.
City, yeah.
Could that
It
be
doesn't.
like Dawson City?
It doesn't actually look like Dawson City at all. It looks like very old mining camp.
All right.
Yeah. Dawson City has like
it looks like there's a graveyard in the bottom.
It does.
That's what. Yeah.
It is a graveyard. Yeah. It's
Okay.
all the riders.
Where do I buy a spot for when I eventually go?
That's literally all of the Wonderland YouTubers that just Wonderland gets rid of. They're like, we're sick of you.
This will be like you know how Banshee King's Island has a little graveyard and they have Son of Beast there. The Skyrider, Mindbuster, Wild Beast.
It also reminds me a little bit of the one at Knott's.
Yeah.
So less deserty. But I don't know. Just the look of this is giving me Whitewater area for sure. Even the way they kind of made it look like rapids in the water. That little shed there at the bottom, I'm like, what is that for? Are there one of those along Whitewater somewhere that I'm not thinking of? I feel like I'm gonna have to
I don't
options.
think this is the entire image that you're seeing right now. That's not a shed. That is a bridge. That is like the bottom of
Yeah,
a
it's
bridge.
a bridge.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
the
yeah.
image isn't being shown.
I
in
see. I
full
see.
on the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
So someone asked, is this for 2028? So essentially what I think you guys are going to see, and I know a lot of coaster enthusiasts outside of Wonderland are not going to agree with this and they don't like it, but I think Wonderland's actually going to be heading into a really big transition 10-year period where you're going to see like $500 million thrown at the park. And you're going to see coasters being built like every other year or every 2 years, every like 2 to 3 years, essentially. To be honest, you might even see some back-to-back years. It looks like Wonderland, and honestly, looking at the wait times at the parks, Wonderland really is holding up the chain lately, like in a significant way. The American parks are struggling, whereas Wonderland is bringing in the guests, the attendance, the spending, keyword spending. We have some of the highest Fastlane numbers in the chain now, and that is everything to Cedar Fair because that is literally free cash. There is next to no cost for the business to run Fastlane, so that is 100% profit for a chain like Cedar Fair. On top of that, Wonderland has a significant growth opportunity that has essentially no weaknesses outside of its own self, its own downflaws. So it's surrounded by the GTA, suburban cities, like a lot of immigration coming to this country. A lot. Like they're saying, like, isn't it like 300,000 per month right now?
I think it's something
like that, yes.
something massive like that.
300,000 like immigrants and coming to the country, which is great. I'm not crapping on that, anyone. Don't cancel me. Because what that means, and they're all coming essentially to Ontario. And please, no one in the comments section comments on that, please. This isn't a discussion for that. But what that is a sign for a company like Wonderland is growth. Like you have the ability to draw in a lot of these people. So a park like Wonderland is the best park for Cedar Fair to invest in. I don't care if the Americans disagree in here watching. This is the park to invest in. It is also really cheap for them to invest in right now, which does counter itself when it comes to profiting off the park as well. They do lose profits when exchanging that dollar. But in terms of investing in the park, they're saving essentially like 25 to 30% off of their costs from spending USD on Canadian construction. So definitely it is the time, and you're seeing it. Like everyone in here right now, have you ever seen a time where Wonderland is building things continuously during the season? Like there are restaurants being built right now. Yes, pizzas and stuff like that, but there's pizzas being built for Halloween Haunt. Like I've never heard of that. They're literally building a pizza to alleviate haunt crowds, like make more money off of haunt crowds. They're turning these random things, Winterfest sheds that were only for Winterfest, into like snack shacks. They're painting like and redoing cell tower signs in the middle of the season. Like this isn't something I've ever seen really happen in the Cedar Fair or Wonderland chain, at least the one I've never seen happen. I'm sorry, I need to not talk. I just saw someone. I really hate seeing Wonderland play it safe. Do you see what's on the screen in front of you right now? Do you see what's on the screen in front of you right now? Yes, I get it. It's a family coaster. But are you missing what's on the screen in front of you right now? Because this doesn't look like Wonderland to me, which means it's not playing it safe.
Yeah, it's just not the type of risk that you personally might want, but it certainly is a big leap that they're doing. It's just like, I'm going to look at this and be like, but it's not an RMC. They're not taking the risk I want them to take. Sure, but it is a risk that they're taking. It is a big leap that they're doing with something this big.
I 100% agree with you, Jason, when it comes to the coaster. Yes, I agree. It would be awesome to see, a really awesome flyer and all that. But like, girl, this is not Sperry Farm / Disneyland coming to Canada.
You want to know like what this looks like to me? I know Ryan doesn't like me saying this, but it looks like Disney Sea. There last week, literally Disney Sea. It looks exactly like Lost River Delta. If any of you know this area that the park looks like, go look up Lost River Delta. It looks like that, except minus the temple. That's what I'm getting reminded of here.
Mm-hmm. They're going for full theming, and that is going to attract a more family audience. So it makes sense if you're doing a big, hugely themed immersive ride like that to put it on a family ride, not like a super high thrill ride. Not to say that Wonderland obviously majorly has a high thrill type of audience, but they're trying to grow in a very specific direction. So this makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I think what we're all missing here, and I just realized it, there's characters in this concept. It looks like the Knott's Berry Farm Ghost Town Alive experience mixed in with this coaster.
Kind of like Forbidden Frontier, that's your point.
Yeah, even though that flopped. But that was the wrong park to do that at. It's not a family park, it's a thrill park. But doing that at Wonderland without needing as much labor as Forbidden Frontier needed, because they had all those like ropes courses and all that, doesn't look like there's any ropes courses here. It looks like it's literally just an adventure. We can go around and talk to some characters. I think that's great. I think this is exactly what Wonderland needs for the families. We have a lot of tourists at Wonderland too that like those experiences, those Instagram experiences that they can throw up on TikTok and Instagram. So I think this would do really well, and I 100% see this for 2027, 2028.
Don't forget also, you're speaking about tourists. What do we have happening in, I believe, 2026? We have the World Cup happening here in Canada. We have games happening in Toronto. That is a massive tourism draw.
That's huge.
We're going to be getting a lot of people coming to Wonderland from there.
And I don't think a lot of people know this, but the Department of Tourism gives a lot more grants when stuff like that is happening in a year. Like that year, tourism businesses will get more money from the government in whatever ways they're able to apply to. So yeah, and just going back to the whole theater shows declining. If they were to take those actors and costumers and whatever and put their energy towards having in-park walk-around characters, I would be okay with that switch. If the theater shows aren't doing so hot and they're like, we still want entertainment, we still want to be a theme park with, themed actors and stuff like that, and have them be walk-around characters in the park, or, sort of like when you're in Disney and there's little mini shows happening. Like you'll see the Jammers doing a show when you're walking through Epcot. You'll see the Dapper Dans singing a show when you're walking down the Magic Kingdom. It's not a major show. You don't have to go into a theater or anything. People stumble across it and it keeps the crowds busy. And, it helps to alleviate lineups. It definitely serves a purpose. And if that's what they're looking at doing with something like this, and, why there's conversation happening around theater shows not doing as well, I would be okay with that shift. I think it would be really cool.
Jason, trust me, I would prefer those rides so much. But I think we all have to remind ourselves what our home park is. Our home park is Canada's Wonderland, located literally in the suburbs where there are families left, right, center, top, below of this park. Their target audience is the families. And that sucks for us coaster enthusiasts, because you're never going to get the top filled dragster. You're never going to get the intimate multi-launch that makes everyone throw up. I mean, look at our park. People throw up on Yukon Striker all the time.
That's not intense at all.
In fact, I saw someone throw up on Wild Beast the other day, and that's when I knew we had a problem.
Okay, I'd just like to bring back Whitewater Canyon one more time, because I am now 100% that what you are seeing there is that turn on Whitewater Canyon. Because you guys brought up the fact that the river ends, right? It ends right at the point where the tunnel is, where the part where you walk over the ride. They would be expanding that entire area into a plaza where all of the trees and stuff are. Brendan, I don't know if you're able to look at Discord right now, but I posted a comparison between the shape of the river in the concept art and the shape of that part of Whitewater Canyon. They match up perfectly.
Shut up! Shut up! In your favor! Shut up! You switched my decision. No! Actually, no. You're actually going to scare my audience now, because the video I was supposed to make yesterday. Remember the video I was supposed to make yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
With the old construction markings in Whitewater Canyon's forest?
Yeah.
That from 2021?
Oh, yeah.
They're in that area.
So this is coming first?
Shut up, Jasmine! Okay.
No!
I'm leaving!
Oh, I don't know. But the thing is,
think...
but wait. But since there's, from this rendering, they don't have to be serving the coaster. They could be serving other things. 'Cause it's just
No,
So,
but
I
what
don't know.
Ryan's saying is true. That like this makes sense. Look, the old lookout point where the waterfall is, that actually almost looks like water coming down from those stones too, but I can't tell.
So what are they gonna do with Whitewater? Are they gonna get rid of it? Or are they gonna make
No,
like an
no.
interactive
It looks
ride?
like
It's
they're
in
gonna.
the concept
It would
art.
perfectly work. Yeah, it would work.
It
really
looks like they're
perfectly.
going to enhance its theming. It looks like they're going to
Yeah.
actually give it life. And that's the infield right there that they're gonna. No, the only thing is, where does the queue line go?
Yeah.
That's it's Wonderland.
On the topic, by the way, of what we would get first, I believe we would get the wing first. We have those markings you were talking about, Brendan, there. But also, I believe getting in something that's higher capacity, like a wing coaster, is more important before a big tourism season like 2026 is going to be.
But let's counter that. This was surveyed in 2021. This area, if it's Whitewater,
Have you seen any silver things? Silver like
yeah,
exactly. I've
Flying Canoes. Flying Canoes' electrical building has one on it.
Good news is.
But that is weird because then this wooden coaster wouldn't be anywhere near that.
Yeah, it would be in a pretty small area.
That could be for theming though, because if that whole area is getting like some of the pathways might have to change and stuff.
But I thought silver was only for like moving objects.
Oh wait! I don't know about that. I can confirm that this is not the location. Sorry, this is great. I'm okay with this. The height requirements of where this is located is impossible for it to be located there. It's next to the highway. There's a no build zone.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't, but well, I mean, like Silver Streak exists.
It's
but this is going to be taller. This is going to be like
it's really short. It's like
Silver Streak is like also still a little bit forward to this location as well.
That's true.
And it's also worth noting, Silver Streak is only 48 feet. And
this is probably
Zambezi
going to be in the
Zinger
70, 80 feet range.
And Zambezi Zinger is 74 feet, so that is like kind of.
That's almost double.
Yeah.
Zambezi Singer is only 74 feet tall.
Yeah, it's almost double Silver Streak.
Oh, 74, yeah.
I actually. Oh, okay. So you're not allowed building within 40 meters of the highway.
Hang on, I've got Google Maps open. I'm gonna measure this right now.
So
yes, I don't think this can be.
I'm still sticking with Mindbuster. I'm team Mindbuster.
I'm also sticking with Mindbuster. I just think it makes more sense with the plaza area being coasters sort of area.
The back of Action Theater, you're not allowed building at all.
Yeah,
and then just saying it's 80 meters, not 40.
So the back of Action Theater is sort of in line with that turn that we're all talking about on Whitewater. So it would have to be literally over Whitewater for it to work. It could. There's a lot of space in the middle of Whitewater, but that's not what the concept art is showing.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I don't want to reveal too much, but I'll know in December what it is and where it is. But you'll all know in December too, because they start construction in December on whatever 2025 is.
And you will all see how right I am.
No,
how wrong you are.
Yeah.
We will all gather to celebrate the Ryan is wrong party. So,
Jacob, you want to make a bet?
Yeah, I'm down.
$20.
See, and Ryan has a really good point, though. Ryan has a really good point. A wooden coaster does not need to start construction in December, especially a family wooden coaster.
But there's so much to this ride that, first of all, this rendering is such a general idea that this could be like, we don't know how long it took them. Obviously, it could have taken them. It probably took them way longer than the wing coasters, but still, there could be such smaller features that could take longer than how long we know, because we don't know how long the queue line's going to take. We don't know how long this bridge and maybe some landscaping is going to take. We don't I don't think most people know. I don't know if you know, Brendan, how long this takes, but I assume it's pretty long. So I mean, taking in the effect of Canadian weather, that I believe, I think it could be like, if it's 2025.
Yes and no. You are looking at all theming, and theming actually takes a lot less time than you think.
Sorry, so are we talking? Okay, I thought the bet here was about where it's going to be put. If we're talking about what's being built first, I think it's the wing, or whatever.
Yeah, I still agree with that.
The wing coaster is being built first.
If we're saying it's in the Mindbuster spot, I want someone to justify to me where all that theming, that whole town's going to fit.
Behold, Brendan's screen right now.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm juggling too many tabs. Let me go back to it.
So yeah, I feel like. But the thing is, Brendan, do you know how long the landscaping takes?
Not long at all. You'll see landscaping as the very last thing a coaster project does. I know, like, Ryan can probably back that up too.
Landscaping doesn't take a super long amount of time. Theming doesn't take a lot of
landscaping and theming is usually the last thing they do on a coaster, and it's usually in the last week or two.
And it's a wooden coaster too, so I don't think this is 2025.
How long did Zambini Zinger take to build?
Let me put it this way: Mystic Timbers started fall the year before, did it not, Ryan? Fall or winter?
Something like that.
Wooden coasters go up really quick, guys.
They build them in like a few months.
Yeah.
I mean, look how quickly they put up. It's wood frame, right? Wildcats Revenge. Ryan, can you confirm this is?
Wildcats Revenge was very rushed.
Yeah, but that's wood frame, right?
Oh, sorry, someone was looking at that. All right, there you go.
An example of building like wood, like building a wood coaster. It's not a wood coaster, I know, but just an example of how fast they could put up those supports.
Yeah.
Zambezi started in fall and opened in June.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, it was fully done before June, right? They delayed it for something. I don't remember.
Well, it had problems. It had problems.
Yeah, but the actual ride itself was done like a month or two before that. So it only takes a few months to build these, like 4 or 5 months maybe.
But yeah, this is interesting. So, you know what? Do you know what piques my interest about all this, though? Let's go back over here. Are you all done looking at this map for a sec? Can I go?
Oh.
Do you know what I find interesting? So, I'm not going to say with who, but Surya and I had like a really good luxury of like sitting down with someone from Wonderland and having like a really good conversation outside of the park. And you know, it was funny. The basement of the mountain was teased to us, and I feel like I should have paid. I went on the podcast. Remember, guys, I said the basement of the mountain, this person, blah, blah, blah. But what's interesting to me is I was expecting some Winterfest proof rides, and I don't see any.
I've been saying this for a minute too. I don't know why they wouldn't start doing that. Like, to say, oh, convert all the rides is a huge thing that doesn't make sense. But why haven't they started bringing out, you know, new rides that are more easily able to be Winterfest friendly? I don't get that personally.
Yeah. It's strange to me that none of these are winter. So in that case, I know y'all are sick of me saying this, but Action Theater needs to be developed. Like, because where are our Winterfest rides? Tundra Twister has the potential to be a Winterfest ride, but girl, that thing be struggling. So I don't know how it's going to handle the winter.
Doesn't it operate better in the winter though, because of the cooling and like the whole motor that's on top? That it actually would function better in cold weather.
The random view. You bring up a good. I will say. So 2 cool things. Wonderland's extending its season into mid-January. Number 2 is Wonderland is exploring freezing Whitewater Canyon's river thing for skating. So you would skate along in the forest. You know how pretty that would be with the lights.
That's
and the
a really
trees?
good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be so cute.
That'd be nice.
The concept does not look like a wing. Yeah, that was thrown together. That like the concept isn't meant to be taken seriously. And I think maybe there's a reason too. Like, why would you want to post your layout of a coaster that's coming out in a year and a half? You know what I mean?
Someone in the chat earlier, though, I think it was Key Switches. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was Key Switches saying earlier that one of the teasers has a way higher resolution than the other. And I didn't confirm. Again, I'm obviously still playing catch up, so I can't confirm that. But if so, that's very interesting because that means that one of them is literally a larger file, literally a larger piece of art that they had to commission somebody to do.
So
more detail.
This one is more detailed, if I'm not mistaken. This one is definitely more pixelated, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't know. If whoever it was that said that in the chat wants to come in and reiterate which one you saw. There, yeah, it was Key Switches. Blast Coaster resolution 3000 by 2000, while others are 1600 by 900. So Blast Coaster.
Yeah.
So if you were teased basement, Blast Coaster is the highest resolution of the 3. Means the other 2 to me sound like they were just made up quickly as duds. And the survey is so narrowly targeted.
They did target Blast Coaster. They showed you Blast Coaster first, and they're like, "What do you think about this?" And then they're like, "Okay, now that we showed you this, what do you think about that compared to this?" And then, "Okay, what about this?" And then they're like, "Okay, we're going to show you them all again with Blast Coaster on top. Which one do you like best?"
Yeah, there's some psychology going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they're leaning towards. Whether or not they're even going to listen to what the fans vote, I don't think really matters. I think the vote is just to get us clicking buttons and interacting with them and being invested.
For me, Blast Coaster was shown last.
Interesting. Oh, that's interesting.
So I have the survey open right now. I see Concert Coaster first.
What?
I love this real-time testing. Wonderland is going to be like, these guys are messing up our whole survey.
I opened up the survey about back when the stream started. I opened this an hour and a half ago, and it showed me Concert Coaster
Interesting.
first. I think it's randomized, so
It's a random
that is
order. Okay.
which is pretty important, I'd say, for this kind of survey.
That is interesting.
Y'all voted Blast Coaster, though, right? Okay, what did you guys in the comment section vote for?
Wrong answers only.
Blast Coaster!
I feel like Blast Coaster would have the best layout, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like the whole... There's some weird... Like, they didn't specify... Wait, let me pull it up. Does anyone have easy access to the description of Blast Coaster that can read it out?
I do.
I
Okay.
do.
So there's like a whole quarter of the mountain that's in Frontier Canada, right? Like that back quarter of the mountain, the face of it is in Frontier Canada. Blast
Would you like
Coaster
to
makes
read
the
it?
most sense to me because it'd be like a blast for dynamite, you know?
Yeah.
Would
All
you...
right, who's reading it?
I can read it. A strange, unexplainable force has taken over the core of Wonder Mountain. Strap into your winged coaster car and prepare for an exhilarating high-speed launch that propels you through a cavernous subterranean tunnel and into the heart of the mountain. Suddenly, you are blasted straight up and out of the summit's highest peak. Experience awe-inspiring views as you soar high above Canada's Wonderland and encounter a thrilling series of heart-pounding twists and dizzying turns.
But there's already a dragon in the mountain.
Can we get another? Hey, listen, we already have like 3 dragons. We could get a 4th.
What's his name? Herman? Doesn't he have a name?
Herman and Thunder and
Herman,
Ormar,
yeah.
I think, in
I didn't even clue into that the first time. But you are going to launch from outside the mountain into the mountain.
Are we going to find the whole nest where these dragons been coming from? Is that what's going
The mountain's 100 and something feet tall. How tall is Thunderbird?
Thunderbird is... I just had it open. Let me check. Thunderbird...
I know that the highest point on
140.
Wonder Mountain, that very highest peak, is 150 feet. So
Yeah, and Thunderbird is 140.
Okay, so we're going to take the record of
So if we were
tallest
to
launch
go
coaster.
for biggest or tallest launched wing coaster,
Yeah.
we would take the record. We would have to push it a bit more if you want to take the record for highest wing coaster, which is 198 right now, I think.
No, they wouldn't go for that. There's no point for them to go for that. You know
Yeah,
them. They're gonna be like, tallest launched wing coaster in the world.
Yeah, more words is better, I guess.
one of two.
It's like when the first Axis coaster is going to come out. Tallest Axis coaster.
The tallest build height at the mountain area of the park is 406 feet.
That's pretty tall.
They're not going. guys, family.
Shadowing.
the launch wing 2025?
Guys,
what's coming.
Stratowing.
So,
Oh my
to me,
goodness.
that description says it all. It's going to start in International Showplace and go into a tunnel, which is going to be expensive in itself. More underground digging. Like, did they not learn the first time they didn't do so well with Yukons?
Because
they
Also,
did learn.
Yukon's
Maybe they're like,
tunnel is
we learned
already
so
falling
much.
apart.
So there's that.
Maybe
Like,
they didn't learn.
Cedar Fair be spending way too much money on these rides. There is not that need to build like that's so expensive.
So, but this is interesting because wait, what did you say the record was
Wait,
right now?
Jim,
Switches just
Jim.
said 160.
The
Jeez.
tunnel is already there, but it can't fit a wing coaster, Jim. That tunnel you're talking about cannot fit a wing coaster.
it's a pretty small tunnel, isn't it?
It's very small. It can fit like a car and a half width-wise.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah,
like,
but
nice to note that it looks like it says that it's going to propel you through a cavernous subterranean tunnel. So you are going to go through a tunnel, maybe themed, before going out of the mountain.
Yeah, you will. It'll be like launched.
I'm imagining like a cool crystal cavern, something cool like that. Before
the tallest wing coaster is Falcon at Wooksy Senek Land at 197 feet.
Yeah, 197 must be 198. Yeah. If they want to go for just tallest in general wing, but I doubt they would do that.
Do you know what's funny though? This concept art might actually be accurate because if you rewatch my construction video, do you see that turn? I know it's not a wing coaster in this concept, but do you see the turn where all those supports come down?
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of the survey markings are.
Oh.
And there's a distance marking on the Yukon Striker support there too.
Which does not exist in this image.
It almost looks like it's going to come out, go out to where the fireplace is at Lazy Bear, and then head on over towards Vortex, and then I don't know where it goes after that. It looks like it might head towards the turn into the mountain on Wonder Mountain's Guardian, and then come back, because then you see like a barrel roll lower where my Wonderland's 2025 coaster is hidden here. And then head back into the thing. It also looks like it's not going to have a lot of speed, guys, because it looks like they keep it high off the ground for the first half, which I hate.
What this reminds me of is Volcano the Blast Coaster for obvious reasons, but also because that goes pretty slow after the launch. It slowly goes through that layout, and that's what scares me about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth noting if they want to take fastest wing coaster record. I don't know how fast Falcon goes. I'll check that right now. But Thunderbird only goes 60. That's not super fast. Gatekeeper goes 67, and Falcon, I'm not going to try pronouncing this, but that goes 73.3 miles per hour.
I'm going to say one thing because I already have a rant about this coming in a future video. My feelings will be made very clear very soon. But I will say that I have been saying this, so it's not spoiling anything. To me, all of our recent big coaster editions, all the B&Ms, are the same ride. You can cancel me for that. They all have that same like floaty feel, and I feel like this is going to have that same feel. And I, as a coaster enthusiast, can say that, and it's one thing, but I feel like we can only do so many of these types of rides with that specific feel before the GP starts being like, these are all the same. Why am I getting in line for a different ride? It just has the same feeling as the last one.
Yeah.
It's not too late, Wonderland. Give us some seat.
Wonderland's literally swiping their like TD debit card right now.
Yeah, Wonderland's literally paying
It's
off.
not too late, and they're like,
there's ride being manufactured as we speak, and I'm like, it's not too late, guys.
It's not too late. Don't do it.
You swear.
B&M manufacturing the
yet.
track. B&M manufacturing the massive amount of straight track. Yes.
Just sell it to SeaWorld. They'll take it.
Yeah, they'll take another B&M. How many do they have now? Like 5?
More than enough.
They have more than us, and we think we have a lot.
Oh my goodness. I get that they're reliable, they're crowd eaters, they are, fairly family friendly, like the height restriction isn't insane on them compared to, what it could be. So I get it, but I just want something very different. I want something that's like a completely different feel.
I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I think that a fourth B&M has been inevitable for us, no matter what. We will be, no matter what, at some point we are getting a fourth B&M, whether it be an invert, a wing, probably not, but I wish, a flyer. It's probably going to end up being a wing.
Yeah.
I
think they cemented that after Behemoth. I think whatever contract they signed for Leviathan included more than one coaster for sure.
100%.
I think Behemoth was like a test, and they were like, "This is great. Give us 4 more."
You know what's funny though? Like, I didn't even get this survey. And then I input my age, and they were like, middle finger to me. No, screw you. It immediately took me out. And then I've been to Wonderland 52 times this year, and it was like, bye.
Oh my god.
I did 2 times.
Grace straight up gave them your IP address.
I did 2 times this year, younger than 25, and I forgot what the other question was, but then that took me in.
Though, like, what you want to experience the most at the park? Like, what's your most?
Yeah, that was okay. One. And I did like thrill rides the highest, family below that, and everything else was like low. and then they let me in.
So let's give some context here. I know Jasmine and I know this really well, but the president of Canada's Wonderland that did just retire has a really close relationship with the owner of Bulliger and Mabillard. And this would have been purchased under his leadership of the park. So this could be our last B&M. So let's hope that this is just that final transaction from a president of Canada's Wonderland that is really close. Like, if you have really close friendship with the owner of a company, you're going to keep going to them, right? And it's not like Cedar Fair is going to be like, whoa, stop, right? You know, they like their B&Ms too at the end of the day. So if the owner of Wonderland, the general manager of Wonderland is like, hey, Cedar Fair, you know, we have a budget of $35 million for 2025. B&M can build us a launch coaster coming out of the mound. Is that not cool? Cedar Fair is, of course, going to be like, yeah, that's sick. Of course we'll do it. So until we have, you know, new blood, thank God it's Heather Hilton, because she's amazing. Maybe we'll see some new things. This is probably the product of our past general manager.
I agree with that. And the fact that it was so easy every time to show them, like, look at the ridership these new B&Ms are getting. It's great. And Cedar Fair would just greenlight it every time. Yeah.
I kind of feel like these wing coasters are like, you know, like our past GM's ideas, but this new Woody is kind of this new Wonderland that's trying to phase in new manufacturers and new types of rides to the Canadian public.
Well, I can tell you right now, based off the Cedar Fair stockholders call, that area is a Cedar Fair concept and not a Wonderland concept. That's the new Universal Studios guy they hired.
Thanks,
so,
Universal.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks good. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Again, it said it gives like Disney vibes. So.
But okay, so this is a comment. Is this an insult to King? Because did you see the guy who commented on my video that was like basically
he's salty.
King's Dominion fans feeling personally insulted.
But you know what's funny?
I get it. I do get it because I don't blame him for being mad about Volcano and all of that. Like it's whatever, but it just looked real salty.
I would feel salty too. I don't blame this guy.
Yeah, I don't blame him. So whoever it is, don't be mad that we're giggling. I'm totally laughing with you because it's me with the idea of Mindbuster being removed for not something bigger and cooler than Mindbuster, and I'm like, yeah, it's assault.
It's okay. Still got Wild Beast, which is better.
Do you guys remember though, like 3 years ago? I remember that in Discord. I've been arguing this all along. Even Surya, we used to talk about it, and he didn't believe me either. Now he does. I would constantly say for the last 3-4 years, oh, just wait. Wonderland's going to be the gem of the chain. Wonderland's going to see the most investments. Just wait. I've been saying that for 3 to 4 years, and it's finally happening. And you know what? With all these, you know what's coming next, right? A hotel.
Yeah.
And that's what Kingswood could be. Like Kingswood could technically be that hotel.
On-site hotels are really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's the best when they're integrated with the park, though. Like when they're
when they can enter from.
And that might help explain why they're also building these coasters in such dense areas still, right? Like they're trying to save their outskirts,
preserving space.
Yeah.
Like what Key Switches is saying, breakers with ERT, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it would be so close. Like sometimes those theme park hotels are like, you know, you got to take a shuttle or a bus or something. The property we're working with, like you literally would get out of your hotel and walk right into the park. It would be great.
The Americans are here calling it hearsay and all that. Here, why don't I show you guys something your park will never have? Concept art.
Oh no!
Carowinds. Here's Carowinds' Whitewater Canyon wooden coaster they were supposed to get. It's now ours. This is King's Dominion's small wing coaster right here. We got it. And then they said the Volcano Blast coaster replacement. Nah, we'll just give that to Wonderland.
It's like when your sibling gives you hand-me-downs, but they haven't even been worn yet. They still got the tags on them.
The poor King's Dominion fans. First Volcano, and now we take their wing coaster.
Okay. Brendan is apparently from Kitchener. How is this hearsay? Because the last survey in the Cedar Fair chain that went out about a future edition ended up becoming true. Carowinds. The other survey that went out about a water slide for next year, I can confirm is 100% true. You guys can wait and see on that. They don't make these concepts and these surveys for no reason, especially when they're asking about the theme of a ride, not a ride. They're asking about a theme.
They literally don't do this for no reason. They're getting it's like the beginning of the marketing campaign. They're getting you hyped.
Because now you're gonna get some news chains some new channels talking about this. We saw the same thing when Carowinds did their when they did their survey. News channels started talking about this. It is marketing, basically. They've already decided that they're doing this. They're just looking for a theme to be 100% on it, and to start letting people know, hey, we are doing this. This is happening.
Some form of
That actually might be a clues too. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's some sort of a back end confirmation because the park already knows what they're doing. They already have a plan laid out. Everything's already settled. It's just a matter of getting that last minute feedback.
Yeah. And I was just going to say that what you see on the news stations in the coming days and weeks could also give more clues because sometimes, not always, the park will actually give the news stations a specific video clip reel to use. So when you see, the news anchor is going to do a voiceover and you're going to see a clip of like these different concepts playing and whatever, and it may focus more on one. And this is all speculation because there's like a 50% chance that it's Wonderland that sends it to them pre-done, and a 50% chance Wonderland just sends them the images or the clips and they put it together. But sometimes Wonderland could be emphasizing in those clips, if they are pre-edited and sent to the news stations like that, they might, dwell on this one for a reason.
Yeah. There's most likely going to be a flat ride or dark ride experience added in 2024. There's 100% a water slide coming. The water slide is coming in 2024. Trust me. I saw some blueprints.
That's well overdue. It better be.
Love to see the water park get more
Water
stuff.
parks. Yeah, it's like screaming for help at this point. It's like setting itself on fire. Like,
Pro slide, man.
I just want
pro slide. I don't want Whitewater West.
It's not going to be pro slides. It's not going to be pro slides.
No.
The person holding like the baby above the pool, and then there's the other child drowning, and that's our water park.
Jake's late. No.
The child that the guy's holding in the meme is like that's the dry park, and the person drowning is the water park.
Jake, are you at home yet? Are you off your shift from McDonald's?
Did the ice cream machine break?
I just home from McDonald's. Okay, pop on in. Pop on in. Pop on in.
The ice cream machine?
Jake, come on in the call.
McDonald's.
Does Jake have permissions?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Jake, can you make me a grimace shake?
No cameras out.
Guys, I'm having a grimace shake. Happy birthday, Grimace.
Oh, you don't have a webcam.
No. His minutes are numbered.
Hello.
What type of slide?
Hello.
Why do you say hello like that?
What's up, Jake?
No,
Okay, Jake. Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to give your opinions on the things on the screen? Can you see the screen?
I can see the screen.
Okay, what about the Blast Coaster? What are your thoughts and opinions on it? So, guys, Jake was actually at the park for me today, right, Jake, for me? And you were filming a lot of the survey markings and its location.
Yes.
So how was that?
Shout out, Jake.
It was great because I found them before Brendan did.
Always a win.
That's a flex.
Rare.
When you find something before Brendan, it's always more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me to ban him after this. Okay, what are your thoughts?
I got you. I'll do it right now.
From what is on the screen, on everybody's screen, it looks exactly like where it's gonna go. Like it's that corner of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's blast out of the mountain just to make King's Dominion fans mad. Yeah. And I hope it's the launched invert. That would be awesome. But it's probably going to be a wing because that's more of a GP magnet.
Yeah, the description also said wing.
Yeah.
What about the concert coaster with onboard audio?
Ooh.
I love the fact that there would be onboard audio and I hope lights. But other than that, I prefer the other version.
Imagine
Yeah.
hearing Rush while you're riding a coaster.
But yeah, it would be cool. Like if you've been to the Orlando parks, any of the Universal Orlando parks, you know that like I don't know, a lot of those have onboard audio and stuff that really enhances how it is. So
Yeah.
enhances
And what
and then photo taking as well. Like if it has videos, like at night, if it has lights, so that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Have you
On-ride
had
audio. Cool.
have you had a chance to fully digest this concept?
The wood coaster one?
Yeah, with the area. Do you see the area?
Okay, now it just changed. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Where do you believe it is? Like in what area of the park?
Okay, well
doesn't-
Ryan's actually changed my opinion, but
It looks like
I
Whitewater. I hope it's not first.
No, I
I-
still don't believe it will be
2025.
first. I still believe it will be second.
I don't know. There is like the thing is, why would they survey this 2 years ago if it's going to be last? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they do change their plans and stuff. Like for
They
Yukon
do.
Striker, for example, it was supposed to be 2016, right, or 2017?
Yeah. I believe this is a conversation we had today, Jake.
Yeah. And the survey marking started way in like 2013 when they were getting rid of Skyrider and stuff, and construction almost happened right away, and then it stopped.
Yeah.
Because of Valraven and Cedar Point, and then it continued with the tunnel, obviously. So it could be a somewhere similar situation where they had all of this going on, they're getting it ready, and then it stopped because they wanted to change their plans, but it'll still go through eventually. But then again, there is that interview with Grace on TPM Vids. So, who knows?
Yes, where they said they weren't done in the smirk.
Yeah.
Ah,
I just want to say, I want this first before the wing coaster, because if you have ridden a family GCI, it's a good ride. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't wrong.
I honestly think, like, if we got both of them, I would prefer the family GCI, because, like, the only one I really have experience with is Invader, and that is a great ride. I love Invader. I think it's awesome. I just wish it were longer. Zambezi Zinger looks perfect. That looks like an incredible ride. You have the new GCI trains. I want this.
That's what I'm
would
saying.
I think this is coming first, and I have a reason why I think that.
Why?
So I'm snooping online right now as we're talking. And so Ohio University published a thing like a while back, and it was basically about planning and engineering roller coasters. And it talks about how parts we already discussed, that like wooden roller coasters are built faster in roughly 8 months usually on average, and steel coasters usually a year to a year and a half, again depending on the ride, the size, scope, etc. But themed rides take an average of 3 to 5 years because of the theming elements, and how many more people have to be contracted. Like, a lot of people don't realize. And what got me to start Googling this and thinking this was I watch a lot of videos by Justin Scard, and he's friends with a lot of people who do the tiki work at Disneyland and stuff. And they've talked about how long it took to bring certain things to life. And I was like, wait a second, we're not just talking about a coaster here, we're talking about a whole themed area. How long does that take? And according to Ohio State, 3 to 5 years. You saw markings in 2021. This is coming first.
Oh, I need
I'm just glad that you mentioned Justin Scard. I love Justin Scard.
I love Justin Scard. He's the
He's
reason why I'm
awesome.
here right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Brother, this guy
And then
stinks.
if you look on the screen to add to that, like the coaster would only be like $15 million cap. Like that's like what Mystic
this-
Timbers was.
Less,
And then
The rest of that money is
Or
all
less.
theming, and that
and
takes
then
so much
look how
longer.
much stuff is
That-
just on the screen.
That theming is not $15 million.
And then it would probably also come with the Whitewater Canyon refurbishments.
That right there is what would eat up that 15 million.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to build without taking more out of the forest, then they really have to in order to keep it looking like this concept art, and so they can brag on the sustainability side of things. They would have to spend a lot more money in order to construct it more carefully. It just costs more. That's why they always clear cut for rides. So if they really do leave it like this, that's going to cost them quite a bit too.
Oh, my opinion's being changed.
You know
I
what I
don't like-
just thought? I think we're looking at the location of this a little too closely. The bottom left section. Do you see like the random wood building and then the 3 tents down in the bottom left underneath me? I think that's the current whitewater path that comes up towards Whitewater. And that bridge you see there is the entrance now, and it's not going to be the entrance to Whitewater Canyon anymore. It's going to be the entrance that leads you towards or whatever our wooden coaster is called. And then Whitewater's queue line is going to start. Do you see that other bridge that goes off into the woods?
Yeah.
That is going to be either the line for the wooden coaster or the new line for thing. I think we're looking at the river a little too literally. I think that path is going to be a renovated Whitewater path that is currently there.
Would Whitewater get extended?
Whitewater doesn't need as long of a line as it's got for the most part.
No. Like the canal, would it get extended?
I don't think that they would extend the layout of Whitewater anymore. I think that they would. It looks like they're going to enhance it and give it a storyline almost, and animatronics maybe, or just buildings and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Animatronics, I wish.
I do find it interesting that they would decide to revamp a Rapids ride when they are sort of on their way out, with a lot of controversy in the industry surrounding safety. But you do you, I guess.
Has there ever been an incident on ours?
Not on ours.
Not ours, but
there's also
people are standing up a lot. They are having trouble with people standing up on the ride, which is the controversy.
I see.
Also, the controversy is, boats flipping and yeah.
That I'm pretty sure that's the
killing entire boats of riders.
That's a different model.
It's possible too that this is a two-step thing with Whitewater. Like maybe it's okay right now. They're not having major incidents right now, and maybe we're talking like 6 to 10 years that they have a plan to put some new kind of ride in that water pathway. It could be a tracked water ride, like the Jungle Cruise is on a track. So maybe they're looking to change that in the future, the more distant future, and for now they're kind of building around it as it is.
It is also an Intamin, and they want to work less and less with Intamin in terms of buying parts.
Give us Aquatopia from Disney Sea, please.
Yeah.
That is
just take all the inspiration from Disney Sea, please.
I wouldn't be mad
ride ever.
If Disney Sea, just Wonderland.
Yeah, just give us a volcano too.
So I just saw someone say this. I just saw someone say this is the best podcast yet. By the way, you guys are looking at the format that we're going to do with our Patreons as well. So this is my idea, to have a weekly stream, an hour stream where I do this similar concept with the Patreons. So we can all be in a call and we'll discuss things about Wonderland as a group. It'll be kind of like, what do you call those things where you talk as a group? And it's almost, a lot of channels do it. Not a podcast. It's like a, what do you call it?
A round table?
A meeting?
A round table. There you go.
Yep.
It'd be like a round table discussion about things about Wonderland. So yeah, if you're a Patreon, I'm getting rid of the $1 option, by the way. So I saw a lot of people sign up for the $1 option today, and I was like, no, I don't give out any information for the $1. $5 plus will get you obviously all the information, the newsletter, and then these new round tables that'll be starting. And essentially, since it worked well, now I know how to do it. I just needed to get rid of this thing. It's easier than I thought, actually. So it'll be like an enthusiast roundtable, exactly. Kind of like, I think ERT does that as well.
The enthusiast council.
The Wonderland Council. But yeah, I thought that'd be cool. So I'll still do like a podcast, and then I'll figure out how to insert the Patreon one as well. I might do 2 a week. We'll figure something out. I am moving the podcast, by the way. I will not be doing the podcast on weekends anymore. It has not been working. My friends only go to the Wonderland on the weekend, like the entire friend group. So it's been really hard for me to want to leave Wonderland at like 7 p.m. to go work on the podcast and get it all set up when all my friends are there. So just to be transparent, I am going to be moving it to weekdays like today. So I don't have a date yet, because people that come on the podcast, they all have random schedules as well. So it'll be weekdays, and now that I can do it this format, it makes it actually so much easier. I don't need someone to come to my house and be on the podcast with me. I can do it like this. So I'm having even more than one. You guys like it, so it works like this. So I don't even need just one person. So yeah, it'll be like this from now on.
And I think the weekday will work really well during the summer, especially because a lot of people are off school. They may be on summer vacation, so they can stay up a little bit later as well. So I think the weekday might be a better idea rather than weekends, because weekends you're usually busy as well. So you have maybe less viewership, and weekday might be a better idea.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Is that everyone's thoughts on today's announcements? That was the highest viewed, obviously, because there's leaks, but that was the highest viewed one so far and the most engaging.
Yeah, definitely kept the same. I kept looking at the watching now. It was always over 130.
Yeah.
Over 100,
And that doesn't show you, by the way, that this number, 147 viewers, those are people that are currently up to current. There are, like, when this thing ends, you'll see the actual number of people watching.
That watched at one point.
Yeah. But yeah, is that everything?
I think so.
Anything?
You guys have been awesome in the chat, by the way. The chat's been popping. If you're still in the chat, make sure to like the stream, by the way.
And people in the chat who are not currently in the Discord server, I'll be dropping the link for you guys right now. Feel free to join. Great community here. Usually have pretty active voice channels almost every day. Feel free to join up. There you go. Here's the link, everyone.
Brendan, I don't know if this might be a good way to end, actually, because it has been kind of a long one. But Neil in the chat was asking if we could just do a quick recap for those who came in late.
Of course, I love Neil. Neil's a businessman, so he's someone I talk to here and there. So basically, Wonderland put out a story. So I'll tell you the whole story because it's really funny. Jake, we were told about some new construction markings at Wonderland. We were told about one. So Jake went to go film. I had asked Jake to go film, and Jake went and filmed. And then 1 became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8, 8 became 12, and so on and so forth. And I was able to decode which survey markings were which. And then silver ones appeared. Silver ones are the really detailed ones. And so I was brainstorming in my head. I'm like, okay, so the silver ones and where they're located looks like something swinging out, almost like away from International Showplace, right, Jake? Remember I said that? It was something like swinging out. So I was Scream and Swing.
Yeah, when I was there, we were thinking Scream and Swing because, 2024.
Yeah,
they're ready. It's a nice.
So I was like, land. Scream and Swing sounds good because it's swinging out. Then I got a message and it was like, hey, did you see this concept art? And I was like, concept art? This is fake. And then I got another message and it was like, did you take the survey? They're like giving out information on the survey. And I was like, BS. And then I got like a third and fourth and fifth. And I was like, I looked at it and then the news started breaking and I was like, oh my God, the construction thing that Jake filmed is exactly where this concept art is. It's literally all the markings and the thing coming out of International Showplace heading towards the mountain with those distance markings right at the edge. That's the launch. So it all makes sense, which means that it's already planned and bought and designed and everything. And they're just doing some final calculations and blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
I just love that they specifically took Brendan's email off the list.
Switch to the concept art of the thing.
My theory is that they didn't specifically take his off the list, but it's because he is outside of the targeted age demographic.
Probably. But to me, it's like Grace handpicked his email out of.
Well, I didn't get the survey.
That's what I'm saying. He's the pass holder. He should have got it, right?
So guys, it's Brendan's email. He doesn't need this. Take him out.
So is this actual leak concept art for the coaster? Well, Jasm and Key Switches and other people figured out or clued in that this specific photo is the highest resolution by a lot too. So this seems to be the most important one. The most worked on one or well-designed one is what they were suggesting.
To answer the question though, if it's official, yes, it's 100% official from Wonderland.
Yes.
This is real.
This is real.
Are real.
Yeah.
It's not like fan
Also, I feel like the word leak shouldn't be really thrown around because leak suggests that.
Yeah, if Wonderland put it out, it's not a leak.
Yeah.
That's a hint. It's a breadcrumb.
I don't know. If you look up the definition, let me look up the definition of leak. Maybe I am wrong. Let's do this.
Cooler. To be fair,
they can leak their own stuff, so I guess technically it can
way
count.
Cooler, you know.
I would leave it for the clickbait, but just to be clear, it came from Wonderland themselves.
An intentional disclosure of something secret or private, one of the employees
counts.
was responsible for the leak. So an intentional.
It
So this
counts.
was intentional, was it? Yeah, I would.
Okay. That counts.
To let a liquid
If it
gas,
wasn't
light,
intentional, they
etc.
would've-
enter or escape. Oh, that's the wrong kind of leak. Wait.
Scroll down.
Ryan, what are you looking at?
The wrong kind of leak.
We don't need those kind of leaks.
I can't wait for us
Alright.
to get this. And then we're gonna hear Wonder Mountain is sinking.
Well, I think it's been 2 hours. I think we're gonna end it here and go in Discord.
Awesome.
Sweet.
All right, there'll be a video almost every day for the next week on this because I'm obviously going to start thinking things while I'm trying to sleep and all that, and then I'll want to like discuss it. But, yeah.
Peace, everyone.
Thanks for having us, Brendan.